correlation will tell you whether there's a statistical relationship between two variables. It will also tell you the direction of the relationship, so it could be either positive or negative, and the strength of the relationship, so it could be either very strong or very weak, or none at all. However, a correlation does not tell you if there is in fact a causal relationship between these two variables, and I'll show you what I mean. I'll label the number of relationships you've had in the past as A, and I'll label your happiness in your current relationship as B. So looking at this information, let's say it's a strong, positive relationship, you may be tempted to believe that the number of relationships you've had influences your happiness in your current relationship. This would not be a warranted assumption. It is entirely possible that yes, the number of relationships you have influences your current happiness. Let's say that people who've had loads of relationships really get to know themselves, they know what they want in a partner, and because of that, they tend to be happier in any relationship they have at the moment. That's possible. But it's also possible that the inverse is true, that B is the thing that's influencing A. So maybe people who are really, really happy are really attractive. Maybe happiness makes you a great, fun person that other people would love to be around. And so maybe people who are really happy have loads of relationships, while people who are really miserable don't have any relationships. Or another option, maybe some other variable, let's call that C, that we haven't even thought of, influences both A and B. Let's say perhaps people who are just very socially skilled. People who are very socially skilled will probably be happier because they know how to get along with people and how to treat people. They'll also probably have more relationships because they're better to people and people like them more. This would also be true if we reverse the direction of the relationship, so we can see that again. So the number of relationships is now negatively correlated with your happiness in your final relationship. Now, it could be because the more relationships you have, so A affects B, it could be that the more relationships you have, the more emotional baggage you have, and the harder it is to cope with this person, and the more jealous you get. So it could be that the less happy you are, this affects your happiness. Or it could be that the happier you are as a person, the fewer relationships you need, so the less you seek out relationships. You're happier being by yourself, and you tend to have fewer relationships. So in this case, it's B affecting A. Or it could be something else like geography. Let's say people who live in cities are really, really stressed all the time, so they're not very happy, but they're surrounded by lots of people, so they tend to have lots of relationships. While people who live in far out, middle of nowhere places tend to have very few relationships, but they're happy because these are less stressful places. The important thing to remember is just because there is a strong statistical relationship between two things doesn't mean that there is a strong causal relationship or a causal relationship at all, nor does it tell you about the direction in which that causality flows. Correlation does not equal causation.